So let's get started with the content. Why statistics? Well, I decided to go on something generic in my mind, that is something related to our health. And even though just some of you will be working with health issues, some of you will, but of course, by far, most of you. I think this is, for me at least, a quite generous place to start, because the health to all of us is pretty crucial, I guess. So, here's a Millennium list in this really nice medical journal. Came around 17 years ago when we had the Millennium. They made this list of the 11 most important things that happened to medical research and development of medicine. And as you can see, obviously, why I bring it. We have application of statistics within the medical area on this list. And it is on the list together with pretty neat things, right? Anesthesia, that's a good one to have. And some knowledge about inheritance and genetics, yeah, that's pretty convenient also to know something about that. And so on, right? Chemistry of life, yeah. Statistics, yes, as important, right? Why? It's a long story. Here is a couple of historical landmarks until we leave the history and take a view towards the future, where most of us are going. This is a historical landmark for what today is known as clinical experiments. And the pharmaceutical industry, Novo Nordisk, Lundbeck, Pfizer, you name them, Leo Pharma, are still doing clinical trials as a big business to get their drugs on both the European and American markets. This is said to be the first clinical experiment. And this guy, Google and read more, he did some experiments on ship passengers, because that was a challenge. People got ill when they traveled long periods of time with not proper nutrition throughout such a trip. So he actually got the bright idea, let me check someone that I don't give kind of lemon juice type, and someone that I give the lemon juice. And the formal experiment would be, here is a number of patients, 12. I randomize them, some get the treatment, some does not get the treatment. Then I look at what happens. That's the stats, right? I have no idea. Maybe he had some thoughts about the mechanisms, the biology, the whatever, but he didn't know. So he did the experiment, he looked at the data, all 6 with the lemon juice. They were running up and, dude, you get my version of the story now, right? It's a little bit lying, but you go check the real story. They were running up and down on the ship being happy, and the other one were died and up. It's a lie, but you get the picture. By looking at the numbers, counting or quantifying how it went, it was pretty obvious we found something important. We had something about this lemon juice thing and this illness. And not until later, the actual mechanisms got really well known, right? But that's in the research following such an event. That's seen as maybe as the father of laboratory or designed, planned experimental approach. There is another big approach that is used and still used a lot. That's the more observational approach, or intervention, population intervention, if you want to intervene. Or epidemiology, be it human epidemiology or veterinary epidemiology. Be it following illnesses and how they develop and how diseases spread or how virus spreads. That's a pretty, I think, important thing for the survival of our species still in the future, that we manage to know about how to deal with disease and virus spread. Also, even more so important because now it spreads via airports and all. They didn't spread via airports 500 years ago or 300 years ago. It does now. Anyway, you can still go and see this pump in London. it is said that this guy, he was actually studying the numbers when it came to cholera incidences in London City. So he was plugging in, looking at the numbers, and then he did an intervention study. He took off the handle from this pump, and then he could see how the numbers dropped compared to places where he did not take off the handle. So he did an epidemiological intervention study. It was an observational study, but still, as of today, that kind of studies, epidemiology, maintains to be extremely important. I just came with a meeting from one of our great researchers, Frank Rostrup, doing epidemiology and maybe in the future being able to monitor diseases worldwide by sequencing samples from lakes around the world. If he gets the money to do it, it's an extraordinary project that he is going to do for the world. And so still, epidemiology maintains to be very important. Statistics is the beginning of all this, right? The statistics is part of this. This is at the heart of what statistics really is. That was history. Now we are here. And I wanted to make the point, even though the 2 points I made were historic, they were not irrelevant, because these things still play a major role in society today. But I guess you've all heard about big data today. Certain internet companies crawling and filtering and watching and monitoring and maybe selling information we don't know. In Europe, I hope we do know. In the US, I think it's anarchy, survival of the data fittest, I think. Anyway, luckily we still have rules in Europe, and let's stick on with some good rules to protect all of us against what might otherwise happen. But the tools are brilliant, of course. The statistical and learning tools that we are actually starting in this course are brilliant tools that can help humanity in many ways, but they are also dangerous tools. So don't run out of here and think you should leave it with everyone. In any case, part of this is to learn to be critical also. We should use the tool, but for the good of humanity, right? And for the good of the Danish business also, of course. Where my director is getting the new provost of, of course, Rasmus, if you're there, for the benefit of Danish business and for Technical University of Denmark, the best technical university in Denmark. So, yeah, I'll not quote all these things. IBM said a lot of things. There are a number of stories that you can share, that we share with you. I'm just linking to them here. They are on the website. A couple of them have podcasts. The presentation by the Novo Nordisk senior scientist is only there as a presentation, not a podcast. Nice presentations that were given in this previous versions of this course to give some case stories to just let us know this is really, really important for business, for many, many different types of engineers, that we either become experts in this. Some of you will become experts. Others of you will work together with experts in this. None of you will work in an environment where you can avoid data and learning from data. I make that claim. And then you can come back in 20 years. If I'm still alive, you can do whatever you want in 20 years. If I'm alive, I'm happy. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. So, that was the big picture of why statistics. And then we're going to have this high-level music entertainment again. I'm going to see, I'm new to this, I'm going to see if I can do something about this. Maybe that's just part of it, you need to live with that. Anyway, we'll see. Where do I have my next? Here we have. Good, Bob, good job. You're getting points for the speed also, if you didn't try this before. The more rapid you are. correct answers in this little quiz. Why didn't more of you choose the blue one? Anyway, maybe it's a good reason. First of all, you want to be a good engineer, then you want to be a responsible and free citizen after that. And that's a good prioritization, I guess.